We're at his exhibit here at the World Chess Hall of Fame. So Jon, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thank you. Grandmaster, it's a pleasure to be here.
Well, I'm not the only Grandmaster you know. I've heard that you have played several. Actually, you're a national master yourself. So tell me a little bit more about your chess career and your chess games. What's been going on there?
Sure. I started playing in tournaments as a preteen, and I've been playing ever since. So that's a nice 40-some years of playing. I've had the privilege of playing Grandmasters at various times throughout my career. I guess the most intense, adrenaline-pumping Grandmaster, as you would expect, would be Garry Kasparov. And I had the privilege of playing with him against Nigel Short in kind of a tag team match, a non-consultation game in London in 2010. And so that was really difficult because as his partner, you know, making moves without consulting, and it's Garry.
And so, who was on the other side? It was Nigel and who?
Nigel and Rajko Vujatovic, who's a 2250 player. He's also a chess boxing referee.
Oh, wow.
For chess boxing. So,
and
we're good friends now. But so that was probably the most intense experience.
Okay.
And just to digress for 1 sec, the night before, I was preparing with Garry at his hotel. Anatoly Karpov was there too, so there I was on Mount Olympus.
So let me get this straight. You're playing a tandem chess and there's preparation beforehand.
Yeah, but we were sitting there talking, and so Garry starts grilling me on my opening repertoire in our heads without a board for about 45 minutes. So there I am with the greatest opening theoretician of all time. And he's grilling me on my openings throughout. So that was really a great experience.
I noticed that you collect all the chess accessories, right? Clocks and what is everything that's needed to play chess, right?
Yeah, I started collecting the boards and, for instance, timers and books almost right away, because as a player, that's what you need to play a game. And the antique timers were especially intriguing because they were so primitive. They didn't even have flags yet. The flags that as time progresses, of course, the flag goes up, and if it drops, you lose on time. So I was able to assemble everything I needed for a game, and at that point I started noticing the other patterns of sets, types of sets, and similarities and differences. So that was very interesting. It's propelled me into that. A whole other area of collecting, and most people collect either on the side of chess sets or books, periodical, antiquarian books, periodicals, etc. I have a friend with one of the world's outstanding collections, and he's been a terrific mentor for that. And so I have acquired most of the important historical works.
So you said you're not just a complete chess player, you're also a complete collector. It's not just about the chess sets, it's a whole spectrum.
I'd say so. Now, some people collect with a view to getting everything, and that's hard to do because you start running into space limitations almost immediately. And of course, my wife is asking, "What are all these packages coming?" You know, coming? I became, I wouldn't say choosier, but more selective over time as to trying to steer the collection towards, I would say more toward the top tier. Sets, boards, and publications.
And when you say top tier, how do you define this?
I would say the premier examples of sets within their genre. So for instance, playing sets, there are top tier playing sets, they're extremely well crafted, size can be a thing, but condition is also very important. But the main thing is the quality of the set, how well it was how well it was manufactured. And they were real artists who made those sets, real artists and craftsmen. Then when it comes to, let's say, the ornamental sets, the John Company sets, there it's a matter of what are the greatest specimens of these sets? What are the best examples of these sets? Because they are some of the most exquisitely made and most beautiful sets in the world. So I would seek that and call that top tier.
So the ones that we have on this floor, which one would you say is your favorite? Is there any one that has a special place in your heart?
Probably. It's hard because there's a list of maybe 10 that I couldn't avoid saying, wait, no, that one has to be a part of it. But for instance, the set behind you, that German Adel set.
Right.
Circa 1850, and I have a photo of the set and the original pattern, the Michael Adel pattern, so that you can see how identical they are.
Wow.
And it's a beautifully, just extremely delicate set. I had to have some restoration on it,
Did you feel that when ivory was prohibited, when it was outlawed in certain areas, did you feel that your sets declined in value?
Well, they've definitely declined in value.
Okay.
I mean, the value is a question that transcends a lot of things. The value ultimately means what would it sell for?
Right.
And the issue is these sets cannot be sold.
Exactly.
So in one very real sense, they have no value any longer. But I have, and yes, this is an exhibit of all ivory sets. One purpose of that is to show the extreme, the art and craftsmanship involved in making these. They're not just chunks of ivory.
Right.
But let me say that I am a very strong proponent of elephant conservation, and I support Wildlife Conservation Network to get to the heart of the problem, which is to stop the poaching. That's the only way that the elephants are going to be saved, the elephant population. It's not a contradiction at all, because first of all, these are all antique. In fact, they're certified antique. They were all brought in legally through U.S. Fish and Wildlife as well as U.S. Customs with what are called CITES certificates, Convention of International Trade of Endangered Species. Of course, all this was before the ivory ban was put in place, so they're all extremely, documented. But the point is that there is no the elephants of 200 years ago cannot be saved,
Right.
In any way, shape, or form. And so the purpose of the exhibition is to show the art and craftsmanship of these chess sets, even with the medium that they're constructed in, which can't be obtained legally or morally today. Which set is your favorite in the exhibition?
I guess it's so difficult for me to choose because they're all unique, and for me, appreciating them comes from two different angles completely. I can't appreciate as much of the history of it, but artistically I can, and of course that conflicts directly with me being a chess player, because some of the most beautiful sets here, I'm like, I can't play. Like, what am I doing? But I would have to say that I think the most unique one is the one that we have behind us. I mean, obviously, I can't imagine anybody playing with that, but just the uniqueness of it and how different it is.
Yeah, that's a walrus ivory Inuit set. And in fact, the artist inscribed his name on the bottom of each piece.
Really?
Yeah. Fortunately, he had a short name.
Well, thank you so
So
much.
it's great to talk with you today. I
Likewise.
really appreciate it.